have spoken during the MAG sessions a couple of months back, the first letter I sent, in regards to images. Okay? There is, in my mind, frequently still the image or story of Jesus Christ. I spent about a year identifying as a Christian and coming close to him, but still there is I want to understand the right role of an image. In your answer you gave to me, you mentioned that they were given with a noble purpose, a noble cause, but man's ego co-opts everything. So sometimes I can tell when I'm speaking with people and think about what I've said afterwards. I can see that I'm tiptoeing a fine line between taking it too seriously, perhaps. So I just was hoping for some clarity with this, the right role of an image. I understand the simple answer would be a pointing or something like that, but in the reality of my life, there is an emotional, some kind of connection or something there. And I just want to make sure that before I leave here, that this understanding it's in the right place. Do you hear where I'm coming from? Yeah.
There is no one answer to this, Jamie. The intention has to be right, you see. Obviously, you understand that the image was given as an image buster, because the mind is anyway full of nonsensical images. So, a pristine image was given to us as a solution to the various miscellaneous random and harmful images. And what was the need to use the image as a solution? Because we would not accept anything else. We are a sucker for images. All we want is images, thoughts, stories, myths. Were it possible to rid us of images using any other means, the other means would have been surely deployed. But we proved to our well-wishers that we are obstinate beings who would not submit to or acquiesce to any other method. So left with no choice, the well-wishers said, all right, if images is what you would have, I will give you a special image. So the special image was provided. Obviously, its purpose is to rid you of the miscellaneous stuff that is there in the mind. Now, what after that? It depends on the mind, the personality. In an ideal sense, and ideas are ideas, they do not go too far. In an ideal sense, the image should dissolve having served its purpose. Practically, the purpose never gets fully or absolutely served. Even if temporarily the mind is cleansed of images, its tendency to imaginate still remains. Even if images are cleared off, the tendency to imaginate, that still remains. So you need protection against that tendency. Now the lovely and pure image that helped you in the first case obviously is again the solution. So then there is a need to stay put with the image. The image could be of Christ or Krishna. If one sees that getting rid of the image makes one vulnerable to the same old diseases, and many people do find it that way. They say, as long as I am with the image, the world is at bay. As long as I abandon the image and I'm on my own, the old things again start bugging me and occupying me. Now that's not a great condition. That just proves that unfortunately the bodily tendencies are too strong. But what can one do about it? The body is the body. You cannot change your DNA. So in that case, yes, there is no option but to stick to the image. Stick to the image lifelong, as millions and billions of people have done in history, across continents, across religious affiliations, be it the image of the Buddha, be it the image of Christ, be it the image of Ram or Krishna, be it the symbolism of Islam. It has been happening everywhere. Everybody has been imagining in some sense or the other, even if the image is not that of a face, like in Islam. There is some other kind of imagery, right? Even a word is an image, is it not? So even if you stick to the holy word, you are still sticking to some image. In that sense, there is no option but to be an idol worshipper of some sort. Even if you do not worship an idol made of wood or stone or metal, you are worshipping an idol made of worldly stuff that comes from words. Don't words conjure up images? Does the image have to be of concrete? The word itself is an image, is it not? So that way. So it's a tricky situation, you see. Best thing would be to depend as little on the image as possible. But practically, if you do require the image, don't insist on depriving yourself of the image. Being with the image is obviously a problem. But far, far, far bigger problem is being with the multifarious demonic images that the world stuffs in your mind. So choosing between these two, which image to keep? The image of Jesus or all the images that the world wants to load me with? The choice is obvious. One has to be with Jesus. But at the same time, if possible, try to go to the Father. There is no image, right? Jesus is the image of Father. That's what is meant by him being the Son. Jesus is the image of the Father. Sakar, Sagun. If possible, go a little beyond Jesus. Go to the Father, and there is no image. And Jesus so poignantly said, you cannot go to the Father but through me. I am the truth, the way, and the life. If you have to go to the Father, you have to pass through me. He said you have to go through me. He didn't say stop at me. So it's great to go to Jesus. And if you stay with Jesus all your life, that itself is so beautiful and wonderful. But even more fascinating would be if you can go to the Father. And there you will not find any image.
The admiration or the fondness returns primarily when speaking with people. It's more of a... Because of the tradition that I'm familiar with, using his words to point to things has proved to be helpful in relating with people. But then I start to remember the story, and then
As long as it is delivering the goods, no harm, as long as. But a point will come when you will find that not only is the image becoming an obstruction, something even more nefarious is happening. You will find that you are customizing the image to suit your personal egoistic needs. Once you detect that, that's a major alarm. Major alarm. Now you are not merely with the image, you are actually distorting the image to suit personal needs. If you detect that, then you should just jump up and do something very, very urgent and take it as a drastic measure. It's a very fine thing, a tightrope walk, to be with the image and yet not sully the image. That's why, if the mind can somehow get centered on the one imageless truth, nothing beats that. That's the ultimate. That does not usually happen. So one has to stay with the idol or the image or the word. Best would be word goes, only silence remains. Best would be the idol goes and only the formless remains. Best would be the image goes and only the nameless, imageless remains. That does not easily happen. So if you are staying put with the image, just make sure that you respect the image, worship the image, and never dare to distort the image. Never. What has happened is, man has not merely taken the images that the scriptures have given us. Man has amplified those images. Man has created myths and stories. So much so that we do not even know what was the original stuff that the messenger, the prophet, or the scripture gave us. Man has superimposed so much of his own content on the scripture, we do not know what is happening. And that was not merely a historical process. It is happening every day in our own minds. Let's say he is a Krishna worshipper and she is a Krishna worshipper. The image of Krishna in his mind will be different from the Krishna she worships. They both have created their customized Krishna images, and that to me is highly dangerous. Even if you can stick to the Krishna image that the Bhagavad Puran gives you, it is probably all right. But we do not even stick to the Krishna that Bhagavatam gives us. We create Krishnas of our own fantasies, and that is very dangerous. Now, the ego is exploiting even Krishna. So, best is stick to Nirakar Krishna, the one formless truth. Right? If you cannot do that, then at least be very, very respectful to the image. Don't lay your dirty hands on it. Don't try to disfigure it. You never say you are disfiguring it. You say always that you are giving it a more attractive figure. We never say we are distorting it. We always say we are decorating it. But your decoration is distortion. So don't try to decorate the images that have been given. Hands off. Let the image be as it is. If there is the holy word, don't try to add to it. Or don't try to take away anything from it. Don't load it with your own personal interpretations. The word is the word. There is a reason why it has been put that way, worded that way. Don't try to give it a convenient spin. Are you getting it? You have to be very cautious whether you are listening to the teacher or whether you are superimposing your own intentions upon the teacher.